All right, so welcome to our third day of 5 of the meditations on the koshas. Um, we will be addressing manomaya kosha, the mind, the emotions today. And just listen to the instructions, listen to the guidance, and then I will let you be. I will be silent and I will allow you to be in a state that will come for you. Everybody's will be different. And just flow with it. Don't try to change it. Just accept what comes. Sometimes in meditation, there is a disruption that begins before you can settle. don't try to fight that. Just observe it when it's happening, if in fact it does happen. Excuse me. If that does happen, don't try to fight it. Just allow yourself to accept it and flow with it. Take a step back and observe it, okay? But most importantly, right now, I want you to sit comfortably. If there is a mudra that is comfortable for you, I'd like you to take that mudra. If you're sitting on a chair, make sure your feet are flat on the ground. If you have your legs crossed on the chair, then that's okay. But try not to have your feet dangling. Try to be stable. If you are on the floor, however you want to put your legs is fine, okay? If you're sitting somewhere where the legs are extended and not crossed, that's fine. The most important part is that you are comfortable. And if you choose a mudra, that it's a mudra that is effortless for you. I want everything to be effortless right now. Meditation is not effort. Meditation is effortless. And so as I guide you, go in that direction, but let the energy be settled. Let your effort be settled. And if you feel that you are short of what I'm asking you to happen, that's okay. Just let it be happening the way it's going to happen. Don't fight what's happening. Flow with it. And I want you to mentally step back and observe it. Observe your mind. Observe your emotions with your mind. Become that observer. All righty. So gently, if your eyes aren't closed, now close them. Make sure your back is straight, your head is straight, and your neck is straight. I would prefer that you don't lie down because I don't want you to fall asleep. That's not to say you can't fall asleep sitting up, but it's less likely to fall asleep sitting up. And I'd like you to make sure that your eyes are gently closed. Stretch your legs. Bend your ankles. So you're going to point your toes, and then you're going to flex them. Make circles with your feet. Now go in the opposite direction. Make circles with your wrists. Now go in the opposite direction. Open your hands, clench them tight. Open them again, clench them again. Tighten your toes, tighten your feet, bring your hands down. Now I'd like you to tighten your toes, tighten your feet, your knees. Start working up the body, tightening and keeping it tight. Tighten your buttocks, tighten your belly, tighten the chest. Don't tighten the throat. And crunch your face. Make a fist of your hands, tighten your arms, hold them, and let it go. All righty. And breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the center of the lips. Take your time, gently and slowly, breathing in through the nose And breathing out through the center of the lips. Become aware of the breath. Become aware of this body. Visualize this body as a mountain. Visualize the strength of the mountain in this body. Steady, strong, all systems flowing easily within this mountain. Every branch, every leaf of every tree in this mountain, every flower, every river, every waterfall, become aware of the steadiness. Tap into the stillness. And the strength. As you're breathing in, become aware of that pranic energy manifesting as breath. And as you're breathing out, become aware of that pranic energy being shared for breath. Take your time. Exert as little energy as possible. Observe the flow of prana in this mountain. Observe that pranic flow in every part of this mountain. Observe the connection between this mountain and every mountain around it. Observe the connection of the soil to the roots. Observe the connection of the roots to the water and the nourishment. Observe the connection of the flowers and the leaves to the stem, to the roots, to the soil, to the water, to the oxygen, to the carbon dioxide, to the space. Observe the strength of each in that space. Observe the function of each in that space. We can't have one without the other. We can't have a tree without soil. We can't have water without that tree. We can't have oxygen without that tree. But that tree can't breathe without us. Become aware of the foundation. Become aware of the stability of your foundation. Now, I want this mountain to visualize life. I want this mountain to visualize the sun as it radiates down on it, bringing health and life. I want this mountain to become aware of its history. I want this mountain to recall walking in a space that was very cold. Become aware of the feeling of being cold. And I want you to become aware of how that made you feel. Go to that time in space and observe the feeling of being cold. Now I'd like you to step out of that and walk into a space in a time where you were very hot. Any time in your lifetime when you were very hot. Stay with that space. Step back and observe how it felt to be very hot. Observe how the body felt. Maybe it felt very good. Observe it. Observe the emotions that come up from the feelings of the sense of your environment, the sense of touch. The body being touched by cold and by heat. Now become aware of eating something that is bitter. Become aware of that taste in your mouth. A memory. When in your life you ate something that was bitter. Observe how the body reacted to it. And now let's step out of that bitterness and bring to mind a time when you tasted something that was salty, very salty. Observe the feeling in the body of that saltiness. Observe the feeling in the mind of that saltiness. What emotion is springing up? Now I'd like you to bring to mind, step out of that saltiness into sweetness. Visualize a time when you were tasting something sweet. Only go to one occasion. Don't skip around. Focus on just one occasion. Whatever comes up first in your mind. Become aware of the taste of sweetness in your mouth. And I want you to become aware of the emotions that sweetness brought up in your body, in your mind. That memory of tasting sweetness. And we'll continue stepping out of that sweetness. And I want you to be aware of a time in your life when you smelled something that wasn't appealing to you. One occasion, don't go to different occasions, just one occasion when you were smelling something that just did not smell very good. Become aware of the emotions that rise in you. Become aware of the thoughts that rise in you. In smelling something that is not appealing. And now I'd like you to step out of that and bring to mind an occasion when you were smelling something that was very appealing. Only one occasion, and focus on that. And I want you to observe the emotions that brings up. The reaction in the body and in the mind. Now I want you to visualize something that you may have seen or stepping out of smelling into seeing. Something that you may have seen that was unpleasant. Stay with it. Don't hop around. Go with the first thing that comes to mind. And I want you to step back and observe the emotions that caused and that may still cause when you bring that to mind. Observe them. And now I'd like you to step out of that and visualize something you saw that created a state of well-being, something that you enjoyed seeing, something you enjoyed seeing very much. Again, observe the emotions, observe the mind. And observe that that's what it is, an emotion and a thought. Now I'd like you to step out of that and bring to mind a very sad occasion. Don't be afraid to do that. Bring it to mind. Stay with it. I want you to step back from it. And I want you to observe the reaction in the body, the emotions that are created from that event. I want you to observe that event was in the past, but that the emotions still rise up in our minds every time we think of that event. Become aware of what those emotions are and allow yourself to separate yourself from them and observe them. And I'd like you to step out of that and bring to mind a joyful occasion. Let it fill your mind and observe. Step back and observe what's happening in the body as you bring that to mind. Allow yourself to separate from the emotion of that joy and observe what happens as you separate yourself from that. Still being able to enjoy it, but enjoying it as an observer. As you're breathing in, allow yourself to breathe in that joy. And as you're stepping out and breathing out, become aware of the journey of the senses that create memories and emotions. As you're breathing in, breathe in with so mentally. And as you're breathing out, breathe out with hum mentally. Coordinating the breath as you're breathing in, so. And as you're breathing out, hum. Continue to breathe this way in silence, focusing mentally, breathing in, so. And breathing out, hum. Start becoming aware of your breath as you're breathing in and as you're breathing out. Release the mantra if you haven't released it already. Become aware of this body. Become aware of this mind. Take your hands, place them on top of your head, and allow them to come down the head on the side, gently and slowly, until you reach your shoulders, and then just drop the hands. Become aware of the state in which your mind is right now. And slowly and gently, when you're ready, open your eyes. Om Shanti. Namaste. If you'd like to stay in this state and continue with your meditation, just click out. If you have any questions, I can stay for a couple more minutes. Otherwise, I will see you next week.